Okay, thank you very much. You dressed like a typical Manu woman today and looking really beautiful. You have covered
Yes,
the
she's a
report.
Manu woman. She's a Manu woman.
You have covered the report on the lockdown. Can you do you want to give us details on it, please?
Well, the report on the lockdown in Amazonia. Well, we've seen how the lockdown in Amazonia has been over the years and over this year, particularly seeing the ASA enforcing the lockdown and many more. But this particular year, it's been interesting because there's been a lot of sides to it owing to the upcoming elections with all the colonial proxies and their manipulation. It's been getting rather intense. Not what we expected, but of course, the pressure of the lockdown is always more. The resilience of the people are seen more during these lockdowns because it is adhered to stricter censor, and it's not something that all of the colonial shenanigans is going to douse, not even this time. For this 1 week lockdown, we heard on Tuesday, it's been stated for from the 2nd of September to the 9th of September. Oh well, there's been this video of the part of the ASA, the mountain lions, who have a misunderstanding of what the lockdown dates should be and how to really enforce this. It's almost like they're not really understanding who the the target should be this period and the dates for the lockdown. And there's this misinformation owing to the miscommunication and misinterpretation by these mountain lions. But we'll take a look at this video for you to grasp an understanding of what I'm talking about, and then we'll get to the details of the lockdown for better clarity, because we've had the president as well talk about this. There's been this issue when it comes to spreading a broader information to the entire nation of Amazonia due to some challenges on the ground. There seems to be a little bit of communication hitches, but of course, this is something that Amazonians will certainly overcome. We've seen it in the past times, and this is just one of those cases. We'll take a look at this video and unravel the miscommunication and misunderstanding.
Good day, Ambazonian. Today, na 21. We na fighter the this of mountain lion. They don't come up for tell the population say, ghost town the camp. Me any man be very careful. And that ghost town the start on the 9th of September. Where me any man tell pikin say that day me any man be indoor. Because if you find your pikin not see him, you know say now when the ghost town go down end you pick it for road, we don't die. So they tell our population say on the 9th, we go start for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now ghost town. Saturday and Sunday, road go open. It won't be the other week the same. So it go end on the 17th. So at the tell our population, they say, me they not take this one like child's play. Because say any man where he go fumble, he go receive them. So we did warn our people them for Munya, Boya, My 16, Mutengene, Tiko, Limbe. We don't the poor ghost town who they ever hear. Una the violate them. But the trip, una go pick and run. So the tell una say, Muna be very careful. We love una na why that we don't come today for can inform una so that me any man prepare. Me no say ghost town the camp. Me some man no worship pikin send am for school. Tomorrow he can talk say. So me any man be very careful. And we the warn our parents them where they work for CDC, Menja, Pondo, Tiko. We don't already get information. Likumba. We don't get information say it is so. Una the one mele say me work start. Una go there again for military. Any man wey violate the go stand, we go there now for ye. So CDC, Superman, would you want any man respect himself for that ghost town day? Because any man will come up for outside that day, he go receive on that day anyhow way he see him. Asawana, Asabwam, Esimini.
Oh, well, on Tuesday, the Amazonian National Security Council, the ANSC, announced a full lockdown across the state of Amazonia, effective from September 2nd to September 9th of this year. This decision was made in anticipation of the United Nations General Assembly's first session on September 10th, and the purpose of this lockdown is to underscore the current disconnect between the reality in Amazonia and the narrative propagated by the colonial regime. By implementing these restrictions, these lockdowns, Amazonians aim to send a clear message to the international community about the severe and ongoing security threats posed by neighboring La République du Cameroon. The lockdown is intended to protect the communities from potential harm by limiting movement and interactions during this lockdown period. The measure highlights the urgent need for global attention to the genocide being perpetrated against the peoples of Amazonia. This lockdown provides another platform for Amazonia to make its voice heard internationally. Well, we've seen colonial attempts by colonial proxies to create confusion amongst Amazonians, but despite their attempts to create confusion amongst Amazonians, particularly regarding voting for a dictator who neglects even the people who are fighting for him, and also neglects the rights to the self-determination of the peoples of Amazonia. We are still confident that these efforts will have no impact on the upcoming elections. Previous lockdowns instituted by the Amazonian government under President Samuel Ikomisako have demonstrated strict adherence and success. The Amazonian self-defense, the Amazonian State Army, have transitioned from defensive to offensive roles in times of these lockdowns to keep the territory of Amazonia free from any colonial forces incursion, effectively repelling colonial incursions. Well, this upcoming lockdown that has been announced is also expected to gain similar momentum. However, there is a current concern, which is the video you just saw, the misinformation amongst some ASA members, which might lead to the enforcement of incorrect orders due to misinterpretation and misinformation. But then talking about we saw the video of the mountain lions giving wrong days for the lockdown, but then it indicates that some members of the ASA, the mountain lions, in this case, for example, are disseminating inaccurate information, which highlights the challenges of maintaining consistent communication across the territory. Well, it is with regards to issues on the ground like this that we have had the president say this in part of his recent speech. We'll take a listen to that and you understand what I'm talking about.
So may we come back again for the ASA, Amazonia State Army. Okay, if we constitute ourselves as a government, in line with our declaration, say we are a country, where it will just be annexed and run over by La Republique, by another party, we will be thinking, say we want to come together as in a gentleman's agreement. They annex with the dissolved government. If when we, for say one constitute ourselves as a country, we need to show, say we get our own identity. And what will be our identity in the international community? We get a flag. We get a name. Yes. We also get an anthem. But more especially, we get to get an army. Every country get a state army. An army will belong to the state. Tell me one country in the world We call itself say they are a country. They don't get an army. They only get now one group this side. They call themselves say reconciliation, blah blah. The other one they call themselves say fighter group international. The other one they get their own friend. Tell me one country. You not get army. You only get a group. Anybody they group themselves today. The name change. The other one they don't know who are who. Group of the wrong group, but na country. You know they. If we continue like this, it means say we are not organizing in line with our argument. That means say we are not coming to the international community as a country. We will come before them as a group of disgruntled agitators.
Well, as you know, we have a president with foresight, and looking at this kind of issues, the president has proactively in his speech talked about ways to get that rectified, because I mean, he talked about the importance of an army to a nation. President Sako has emphasized the need for greater alignment between the Amazonian State Army and the government of Amazonia. Ongoing discussions between the Amazonian government and genuine fighters aim to address these communication challenges. And of course, as always, we can only anticipate a lockdown that would not only be effective with great momentum, but of course, a lockdown that indeed would gain and garner the international community's attention to the reality on the ground, which is very, very much in contrast with the colonial propaganda of normalcy in a war-torn Amazonia. President Sako's recent speech reinforced the importance of coherence and unity amongst the Amazonian State Army as efforts continue to resolve these communications difficulties. Remain optimistic that increased coordination will support the successful implementation of the lockdown.